Well, babies can be adjusted right from birth. My own children were adjusted the day that they were born, a few hours later. Not by me, because I was the mum at that time, not the chiropractor. But the sooner the better, especially if there's been any problems or any difficulties with the birth. A long birth, or even a very quick birth, can have some effects as well. Yeah. Sometimes people think that caesarean births are easy births, but quite often, especially if that baby is not ready to come out, then there's a lot of force is required to lift that baby and to bring that baby out. So caesarean births, there can be quite a bit of trauma to the top part of the neck, and also too, the cranial bones don't have the chance to overlap when the head is coming out through the vaginal canal. So caesarean babies come out with quite rounded heads, which mums sort of can initially think, oh, this is great, but it's actually the rounded head the cranial bones aren't functioning well. So with caesarean babies, I usually always go in and do some work very quickly with that to try and get that cranial motion happening. A lot of people think that a head is just one big solid bone, but it's a group of smaller bones connected by little areas called sutures. Yeah. And it's important that those sutures, when we breathe in and out, those sutures move, and sometimes they can get stuck. So what we're doing in trying to balance out the cranial system is getting those sutures moving properly. Yeah. Because that allows all the cerebrospinal fluid, which circulates around the brain and the spinal cord, it allows that to move and to function properly. So there's about a 3 months opportunity from birth where you can really get some good changes happening in through that cranial system. One of the biggest issues is breastfeeding. A lot of women do give up breastfeeding really early, and they, because their babies won't attach, or they're just it's painful. And one of the biggest things that we see with kids is their problems with sucking, and with the adjustment that we do up through the mouth, that helps to get movement through the cranial area, and which helps to develop the sucking. Yeah. And sometimes if that's not being done efficiently, a baby might be at the breast for an hour but not get a good feed, and if a baby doesn't feed well, then everything else is affected. They don't sleep well, they're unsettled, they can get windy and all of those things. Yeah. So, and in the end, mum gets so frustrated if the baby's not attaching well or not feeding well that she just gives up. Yeah. And that's really sad to me, to see that to see a mum give up breastfeeding when I know that there are things that can be done that can really help with it. We see lots of babies with colic, and with that there are I remember at the start we did little massage techniques in through the tummy in those areas as well, which can really help with that. Yeah. And part of that too is just getting that effective and efficient feeding going on, so that they're not taking in any wind and any air and all that kind of thing when they're feeding.
Yeah. Now you work with children a lot, and you're great at it. Now what got you into it? What got you working with children initially?
I think I always loved working with children and babies, but when I had my own children and I saw the difference in how they grew up and their health with having chiropractic care right from the start, because it's not just about getting things, straightening up areas and balancing out the skull, but it's things like their overall general health. They're allowing their immune systems to work properly. Especially one of the big things that we see a lot is children with ear infections. Yeah. And when there's a restriction in the top part of the neck, that can affect that will affect all the glands up through that area and affect the lymphatic drainage through the neck. So working on adjusting the top part of the neck can really help to clear out ear infections. In a day I might see 3 or 4 babies in the morning, and depending on the number of days that I work. Not all chiropractors do adjust babies though. Some chiropractors some chiropractors don't do the cranial work. Yeah. So if anyone's looking at taking their baby to a chiropractor, probably the best way is to, if they've got someone that they know, that like you, that someone that they know that is seeing a chiropractor, or to ring up and to find out if that particular chiropractor adjusts babies, and if they do work on the head and the cranial system, because not all chiropractors do that.
Yeah, so it's really important as a parent that you find someone that you trust, so maybe a referral from someone that you know that's taking their child to a chiropractor, but definitely find a chiropractor that specialises in babies and children. So thank you so much for taking time out this morning and showing mums. Now this one's got a little surprise in her nappy that I need to get rid of.
I don't do that, we don't do that.
So yeah, thanks for taking time out because I know how busy you are, but I'll let you get back to adjusting babies.
Thank you, pleasure.